Hi everybody, my name is Nafuni Gernhofer, and today in this video I'll be sharing with you my journey of going through sacred activations and learning to become a practitioner. It all started when a few months back I started to feel like it was really hard to be in my body, and there was something else that I needed to be reaching for and I just didn't know what it was. But the intensity got so much that I just couldn't be in my body. Like, it felt like it was really hard to be in my body. That's the only way that I can explain it. So usually when these kinds of things happen, I do listen to it and I kind of think, okay, cool. So why am I feeling this way? And the answer came that I need to start to do healing work. I need to start taking my abilities and using it on people in a more full-time way. So I thought to myself, okay, so if this is the case, then I need to find someone or some way to teach myself, or for someone to teach me how to do this. So what I did was, for 2 days, I just started Googling people that I can see here in Melbourne, and I came across a lady called Judy Ann Brown. And she's an exceptional soul. She's really beautiful, and I talked to her and it seemed to be the right fit, and she did sacred activations. So from there I went to the one-day course, which she suggested would be a good thing. It was a self-healing course. After I finished that self-healing course, I just came back and it felt like all these reactions that I had in the past towards certain situations had sort of been deleted from my mind. I went to see my family straight after, and it was really strange. Like, I didn't have the same kinds of reactions that I used to have when I was around them, in terms of sort of, you know, we all have our guard up to a certain extent when we're around our family or our friends, and there are certain things that we think, oh, okay, so I've got to be watchful of this or watchful of that, or it's kind of like an unconscious habit that we have. And I was made aware of this because when I went after the activations to go and see my family, it was like all those reactions had been deleted. It's like I didn't feel them anymore. It just didn't touch me anymore. And I found that to be really amazing. I found that I could make different decisions in my life, or the decisions that I wanted to make, but before I was held back by these limiting thoughts, thinking, nah, I could do that later, or making excuses for why I couldn't do certain things. But after I went for the self-healing sacred activations course, it was like those limitations weren't there, and whatever I wanted to do, I kind of just did it, which was astounding. It was really, really cool. So then a few weeks later, I think it was about a month later, I did the Sacred Activations Practitioners course, which I wanted to do in the first place. And that course was such a transformative experience for me. It's like the healing went into such a depth that I came out really, really clean. It just felt like I had lost a ton of weight, but not physically, just spiritually, sort of in my psyche or in my mind. I just lost so much weight. I felt it in my body, not in the physical appearance, but I felt lighter, like so light that it was almost like I felt transparent. That's how deep the healing went for me. The practitioner's course was a 2-day event. It was 2 full days, and it was absolutely beautiful. These activations can work in multiple areas of your life. They work on the family, so you can run an activation called a family constellation activation on yourself, which kind of relieves you of these conflicts that you might have with your family, those entangled emotions that you feel and that run through your whole family, or you might feel towards a certain family member. These activations can actually release you of those feelings, which is really powerful. Another thing they can do is release you of various addictions that you might have. These addictions could be to coffee, substances, drugs, medications, you name it. These addictions can go away. Addictions to food and addictions to social media, for example, they can all be sort of deleted. After the practitioner's course, about 3 or 4 days later, I went to see my mum and dad, and it was like when I saw them, they'd lost weight, but in that sort of, not in the physical sense, but it's like they'd been relieved of something. And it was the most beautiful thing to see, because these activations, when you run them on yourself, or when a practitioner runs them on you, they not only work for you, but they also work for your extended family and your immediate family. So these activations, there's a part of it where we run it through your ancestral line on your mum's and your dad's side. So that's lines of family. We are actually carrying our ancestral beliefs, whether we know it or not. It's right there deep within us. These activations, they also go through your past lives as well as your genetics and your DNA and your core beliefs and your programming in your subconscious mind. So it works at a really, really deep level. Some questions that some people might have is it painful? No, it's not painful. You might feel a few sensations in your body. You might feel a little bit of shivering, or your head might move a little bit or something like that, but that's just the energy coming in, and it's just adjusting your body. The clients that I've worked with so far, they've had no real physical sensations, and that's fine. Some people feel things and some people don't feel things. As human beings, we're all plugged into a collective consciousness, and these activations, they unplug you from the collective consciousness, so you're no longer ruled by what everybody else thinks and how everybody else reacts, which is absolutely liberating. Because if you're able to go to a workplace and you're no longer governed by what everybody else thinks because you've been unplugged from it, that's liberation in itself. So that's my experience with sacred activations and becoming a sacred activations practitioner. If you'd like to comment on it or ask me any questions, please use the comments box below, or you can send me a private message through my website, which is www.vibhutigunafe.com, and I'd be happy to start a conversation or discuss with you more about sacred activations, because they are truly, truly insane. They are the best. Till next time, and as always, feel rather than think, know rather than believe, and I'll see you next time.